Hello, hello. I think I've got too many lights. I might need to turn that big light off. Can you all hear me? There's a few of you there. Hello, hello. Right, hang on a minute. That's better. I'm still ill. I'm feeling a lot better, but you are going to have to put up with me coughing every so often. And my glasses are really filthy. So now I can't see anything without my glasses on. Like my vision's like this. So I can't see the comments. Don't say too much while I clean them. Hello, I hope that you're all well. Oh, there's pop-ups on screen and I can't see them. Right, hello. Oh no, we don't want to do a software update. No, we don't want to do that now. Hello, hello. Yes, Judith, I do need a hot toddy. I've been ill. I feel like I've been ill since when we were in Scandinavia. I feel like I've had 2 good weeks where I've not been ill, but there we go. I'm getting better. I'm so much better. If I could do one of those little jumps and kicky heels together, I would have done that yesterday. I felt a lot better. Right. Hello, I'm back. I can't remember if I started this last time in the January with like, hello, it's Martin. Welcome to a live sit in it. Because of course this is going to be on a playback. So for those of you that haven't seen these videos before, this is the second one of my sit in knits where I'm trying to do something a bit different and catch up with people all around the world and do something a bit live because I usually sit there. I record all my videos on my iPhone. I usually just sit there with my iPhone. But this is really nice because it's interactive. And the January one was so much fun that I said we would keep them going, but try to alternate the time zones. So it's 11 o'clock here in the UK. And I'm back from Unravel and I did buy things, which I can show off in a minute. But I don't think I'd realized it was Unravel when I said, let's do it around the time zones. Because now I'm like, oh, I'm tired. But it's fine. I am in work tomorrow as well, though. It's not my non-work Monday. I really not planned this one very well. But yeah, if this is your first live, thank you all for your comments and popping along and telling me where you are from and where you're watching from. And see, this is why I want to alternate the time zones because we've got good morning from Australia. Amazing, because when I did the last one, you guys were all asleep. Lots of Americans. There's some UK people still up. You crazy people. Hi, Linda. Yeah, I wasn't sure if there would be many UK people still awake. A few people messaged me saying, I'm not going to be able to join the live. It's too late. I'm like, it's quite late for me. But hey ho, how are you all doing? It's great to see that you're all here. There's already 128 of you watching, which is just, it's a bit crazy. It still blows my mind that people watch these videos. I like chatting to people. That's the one thing I can't do. I can't laugh because it makes me cough. Like chatting to people at Unravel today, people still stop me and go, hi, how are you? I watch your videos. And I'm like, oh, thanks. I still get really shy. But yeah, it's very good. So I hope that you're all well. Where are you all? Lots of people in Canada, America, Ireland calling. Hello, Rachel. Doing very well in the rugby. I'm not a sports fan, but I know the Wales are not doing very well in the rugby this year. Lots and lots of people in the US, which is awesome. And this is why I wanted to try and alternate the time zones. Angela, good morning, Martin and Mark. It's Western Australia, 7 a.m. There we go. Thank you for spending your breakfast time with me. I will try and do one of these. I think I worked out to do 6 p.m. Australian time. I think I worked out Sydney. It's like 7 a.m. my time, which is okay because I'm an early person. This is not, I'm definitely not a late person. um, so yeah, I think we'll try and do a later Australian one at some point. So yeah, I mean, someone not going to apologise for Ireland doing well in rugby. No, yeah, I said we're not big rugby fans, but we did go out to watch it yesterday, and yeah, I am going to attempt to do some crafting while we chat for the next hour. If you watch the January one, you'll know I was very unsuccessful. I think I did one needle on a 4-needle double point, which it wasn't very successful. So I'm not going to show this off properly because as it stands today on the 26th of February, I don't have any finished objects. You know, I had 7 last month and that was like my super productive January. Yeah, we don't have that this month. So I need some things to show off in my month end wrap up. So I'm not going to show you all my cardigan, but I will show you a sleeve, which has been finished. And I've now learned a new trick. So this is ribboning crochet. So this is front post, back post. And all of you crocheters are going to be going, oh, of course. Yes, and it's new to me. And I love it. Like I need to try and adapt the pattern now to work how I can get front post, back post on the collar. So yeah, I finished a sleeve. I finished both sleeves, but I'm not showing you. I'm going to be mysterious, but I have got yarn purchases and non-yarn purchases. I've got purchases from Unravel, which we'll show you in a minute. Almanac Knitter. Yes, I have. I've been taking over-the-counter cough medicine, but I actually have some like the good stuff from behind the pharmacy. In the UK, for those of you that don't know, our pharmacy, you can buy medicines in the general pharmacy, and then the good stuff is behind the counter, and you have to speak to a member of staff, usually a pharmacist, and then they give you the good stuff. I went to see them on Friday, and I got the good stuff, and it's really, really worked. I feel so much better. I think this croakiness is I've spoke all day at Unravel, and it's 11 o'clock, and I haven't drunk much water today. So it's not a lot of cough. I think the coughing is because I'm a little bit dry and husky, but that is having a fun day at Unravel. But I need to take some more cough medicine. Mark's in bed now. He's just gone to sleep or going to sleep. And he said, can you take some cough medicine, please? And I was like, after the live, because if I take it now, it might start working. And I want it to work to go to sleep because it's got drowsiness in it. So where else are we? Midnight in Brussels. Thank you for staying up, Chantal. We've been to Brussels, had a lovely holiday there. Guernsey, Salem, Oregon. Is that the Salem, Elaine? Off of the Salem Witches. It's the only thing I know that Salem's famous for. Is that the and Hocus Pocus? I should definitely know that, shouldn't I? 10 a.m. in Tasmania. See, this is the thing I think about Australia. It's so much bigger than the UK. Like the US, you have multiple time zones. Whereas we don't. We're very little in comparison in the UK. Anna Hill, you don't need a prescription. Kind of. If there's prescription medicine, so if you see a general practitioner or a doctor and they give you a prescription, you have to get that over the counter. But we have, I think this is quite common in Europe where pharmacies and pharmacists can prescribe medications. This is a tangent I didn't think the live was going to go on. But you can get, if you can see a pharmacist, because of course they're trained in medicine. So you can see a pharmacist and they will prescribe you medicine. Or not prescribe it, they will sell you medication that is stronger than the stuff that anyone can buy. So I saw a pharmacist and he gave me that, but it's not on prescription. 5 p.m. in Minnesota. Oh, Deb, there's a Salem in almost every state. Okay, that's not helping me then with where Salem is. Um, Kerry, 3-hour time difference from one side of Australia. Yeah, see, it's because it's so big. I read I was gonna say, did I read it's like I can't remember the number of times that the UK fits in Australia, but it's a lot. I know. So I hope they all working on projects. So I finished because I'm not showing you. I'm just gonna be cryptic. I'm doing length on the body on my cardigan. And as Unravel's just finished, we now have just 3 weeks to go until the East Anglia Yarn Festival. So that means I've got 3 weeks to finish my cardigan, um, which is likely to mean until my cardigan's finished, no progress on Mark's jumper. Um, yeah, more on my lack of knitting progress in my month end video. Um, Work has been super crazy. And I haven't had as much crafting time. So, spoiler for that video, I've not done anything on Mark's jumper. Someone came up to me at Unravel today and just said, "Hi, love your videos. Can you finish Mark's jumper, please?" Like Mark's jumper has its own little personality now, which is quite frankly hilarious. It will get finished. It will absolutely get finished. I feel like this is the big project. Like I can do this while I'm chatting to you because I'm just putting grannies on here. But I definitely haven't been as productive in February as I was in January, which I guess because I was probably too productive. Is that a thing? Can that happen? Um, Hi Camilla, you were at Unravel on Friday. That is, oh, and your husband's a pharmacist. That's a great job. um, Hi from Germany. Sarah Adams has got through a whip list. You've done 5 things this month. Well done. I'm definitely not going to be that productive this month. I'm trying to work out if I can get anything finished, and I don't think there's anything on my list that I'm going to get finished. I can get no. I was going to say I can maybe get close because I'm going to record my month end video on Friday. I've got a day off on Friday. Then we're going to London for the weekend. So I will try and make some progress, but I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure how I'm getting, how I'm going to get on. Virginia, thank you. For the yarn is beautiful. Yeah, I really love the knit along yarn. So let's do a bit of housekeeping. So those of you that are non-UK, if you've ordered the Knit 365 yarn from Gemma, that yarn is now arriving around the world, and it was delayed because in the UK, our Royal Mail service has been or was hit by a cyber attack, and unfortunately, at the wrong time for us to post out the international orders for the knit along. So those orders have all gone and they have now started arriving. It's lovely being tagged in pictures on Instagram where yarn is starting to arrive internationally. So what I just need to agree with Hannah and Louise, obviously the designers, but I'm going to look to push the launch of the Cal back by 2 weeks. So I was originally hoping to start this coming Friday, which would coincide with my birthday weekend. But I think by pushing it back 2 weeks, because some of the yarn has started to arrive. But of course, you know me, I want to try and be as inclusive as possible. I don't want to start and then make everybody catch up. Terry Johnson, yours has arrived in the US. Yeah, brilliant. So we know that the international ones have started to arrive. But I think just by delaying by 2 weeks, hopefully won't cause too much of a problem for you lovely folks and won't cause a problem for Hannah and Louise. But what it means is we can, as I said, be as inclusive as possible, so that we could make sure that there's as many people can join in live, if you like. So I'm just need to confirm that, and then I'll put a little short up on here, along with the shorts, like for the mini series of the announcements that I've done, so that we'll confirm the start time, and I'll talk about it in my month wrap up as well. Um, Hi, Cal from the far west of Cornwall. Practically local to me compared to some of the people that we have on tonight. Margaret Rodriguez, you haven't got a shipment. All the shipment confirmations, I believe, are handled by Royal Mail, I believe. But everything's gone because I've seen Gemma today. But I think it is part of the tracking and the dispatch updates are all a little bit crazy because of the cyber strike. In the UK, we have Royal Mail and the Post Office. So they're two separate companies, weirdly. Royal Mail obviously post everything, and the Post Office is the store that you physically take your post to. Because of the cyber strike, this luckily didn't impact on us, but some people had taken orders to the post office, and while Royal Mail had started to ship internationally again, they were still holding parcels in the post office that, even though they're kind of the same network because they're two separate companies, they weren't accepting post office orders. So it's all been a bit crazy and a bit chaotic. And I think that um, the post office, they've like almost rebuilt, or the Royal Mail, sorry, they've rebuilt their entire system. Like they've obviously refused to pay the ransom. It was a ransom attack that they had. Um, but yeah, it's been a bit crazy. So Margaret, yeah, absolutely. You said that you might drop another email. Drop Gem an email, um, and she can check the status for you. We have got spares, um, and she can check the tracking. Um, but yeah, pushing it back slightly just helps us get over that Royal Mail blip, which is a bit of a nightmare and very bad timing. Hi from Brazil. Hello, Marina. You're working on your doodler shawl. Using Labienne Aimee. Oh, Cash Marina, that's going to be amazing. Yeah, I bet that yarn is super, super soft. The neon knitter just getting over a cold. Yeah, honestly, I feel like I sound really gravelly now, but this is because of Unravel today, because I've spoken a lot. I actually feel so much better. And I think I said the coughing is the dryness. I feel a bit. If I was in Wicked, I still wouldn't be performing. The standby still has to go on. Um, but yeah, I'm getting there. I'm so much better. And every day I get a little bit better, which is all I can ask for. But I do feel like I've had like since our Scandinavian holiday, when if you watch those videos, you know I got poorly on my Scandinavian holiday. I do feel like I've had like 2 weeks since then when I've not been ill. Um, I am still crocheting, I promise. Um, oh yeah, neon knitter. Yeah, show off the next colours in your podcast. Linda's waiting for the Cal. Yeah, I can't wait. I don't know if you can see this picture. It's on my Instagram, but I've seen the shawl for the very first time. Um, Let me hold the screen. I don't know if you can see that. Um, Louise had sent Gemma the sample shawl, and Gem had it on the stand. So if you were at Unravel this weekend, you will have got a sneak peek of it. So I've seen it for the first time, which is amazing. So yeah, I'm really excited to get that started. But I think I worked out the date is the 24th of March. So what I'll probably try and do, I said I'll just confirm those dates, but I'll probably try and do two lives that weekend because the 26th will be the last Sunday in March. So would be my next scheduled live sit and knit. So what I might try and do is do a live on the Friday. We'll do two different time zones, but I'll do a live on the Friday where we can cast on and chat to each other as we're working on a project. And then I'll probably do a live on the Sunday. Um, like maybe I'll cast on the knitting project on the Friday and I'll cast on hook on. I said this last time, cast on we'll go with the crochet project on the Sunday. Um, and then if any of you have got questions or things from the Friday video or cast on, you can ask away and we'll try and be here to support. So I'll try and do something like that. We'll do two videos over that weekend, I think will be the plan. Um, So yeah, stay tuned. More will be revealed on that one. Yeah, Steve. Yeah, chain on. Chain on seems to make more sense. Yeah, we'll go with chain on. So yeah, Unravel this weekend. It was so much fun. I got my show guide, and I went with a knitter friend and her lovely husband. So that was lots of fun to meet up with them. I haven't seen them since the before times. Um, so it was super lovely to meet up with them and say hi and see what they have been up to. We did our usual strategy. Amanda has the same strategy as me. Go and do a loop of the all of the vendors. Go and sit down, have a cup of tea, and then go back around and go do, and then buy everything. Um, so that's what we did. So it was really, really lovely. So had a great, really great day out. Jay Stroud received theirs last week and has got a star on the label. That means I did the speckle. Susan Kravitz, yes, I did get inspiration from the Toff booth. I did show and tell. I took my Advent bird. So I got to see Tash and Emma, which was lovely. So got to say hello, had a picture taken. I have their patches, so I didn't need patches. But yeah, it was really, really lovely to get out and about. I did buy some yarn, which I'll show you in a minute, but I also bought some non-yarn. And that doesn't count as breaking my yarn ban. Although obviously we know one of the caveats on my I'm not buying yarn was if I go to an in-person yarn show, which I did. It's grey. I'm so predictable. I saw Gemma at the end of the day. She's like, "What have you bought?" And I told her, she just kind of like rolled her eyes. So in non-yarn purchases, does anyone know what this is? Wait for you to all frantically type. Steve, yes, all my purchases met the caveats because they were all at a yarn show. So I'm going with that actual, just the one caveat. Yeah, niddy noddy. So I bought a niddy noddy. Now, not because I'm going to start spinning, as we discussed in the last video. Not really on, but I kind of want to get there at some point. That's definitely not for this year. But in my January video where I talked about all of my projects and I said I've got a few things that I want to frog where I've started making projects and it's the wrong pattern and the wrong wool. I want to rip them out. And I thought I need to rip them out and I want to wash the yarn because of one of them that I want to turn into the radiate sweater. It's kind of been knitted up in just plain old stocking stitch. 4 years, 5 it's a long time anyway. So there's a lot of memory in that bit of knitting, thinking that it's a stocking stitch. So what I thought I would do is treat myself to a niddy noddy, which is what I've done. And for those of you that don't know, this will imagine this pull here. I'm not going to open it because I'm not going to use it yet, but this pull here, then one of these goes this way and the other one goes that way. So you almost wrap the yarn in a figure of 8. Look at me like I know what I'm talking about. And spinners use them when they've been plying the yarn and it's ready and they finished it. You basically put it on the niddy noddy and that's how you get it into a skein. So my plan is the 3 or 4 projects that I've got that I'm going to frog, I'm going to put them on the niddy noddy so they're back in a skein. And then I'm going to wash it so it can then relax. It can forget what it's been. And then I can reskein it back up. And then when I'm ready to start that project, I can then unskein it and I can rewind it. So I bought myself a niddy noddy, which is really cool. And I like the fact that I can dismantle it for easy storage so it can just live out of the way. Elizabeth, yeah, I've got a Swift. Mark bought me one for my birthday. Mm, probably again, probably about 4 or 5 years ago. It's the best thing. Sit there with winding on one end of this table, the umbrella or the Swift there. Yeah, love it. Um, People need to stop remind like Laura, a nano spinner. I don't need any encouragement for spinners. Mark is not on board. I haven't got time. That's the problem because you already know I haven't got enough time to finish his jumper and knit everything else. So I definitely can't get into spinning. Not yet. At some point I will. Maybe. Crafty Chats Cafe. This is a really controversial question, isn't it? Skeen or Hank? So um, I call this a skeen. I don't know whether it's a UK rest of world. Do you call what do you folks call this? I think this is a skeen, and I would call this a skeen. And this is a cake. When the skeen is wound into a cake. Um, I think it's different around the world, but they're probably one and the same thing. Ian Sharp, so have you got a darning mushroom? No, because I don't do a lot of darning. I fixed a couple of pairs of socks, but I haven't got enough knitted socks yet. I guess you could darn other things, couldn't you? But I don't really do a lot of darning. Um, Judith, can you remind me what the Cal? Yeah, it's the Disturbia crochet shawl by Hannah of Jamanda Crafts, and it's the Do Not Disturb cowl shawl. Sorry, Do Not Disturb shawl by Louise Tilbrook is the knitted one. So Do Not Disturb is the knitted one, and Disturbia, same name as the yarn, is the crochet pattern. And if you hop back onto the launch video, the links are all in the video description box so that you can go directly to the websites where the patterns are if you need to go to the designer's website and then download the pattern again if you've already bought one. Good, and I wasn't getting this. See, I want to find an old wheel that needs love. Maybe at some point. Laura Devlin. So the Hexie cardigan, this is what I'm working on now. I said I'm being cryptic because, and I said this in the last video, I want to I don't want to mix the streams and I don't want to do these kind of live chats at the end of the month and then not have anything to talk about in my monthly wrap up. So I'm being a little bit cryptic and not showing you everything. But my Hexie cardigan is going well. I have 2 sleeves. So I love it. It's so warm though. Like at EAYF, I might not be able to wear it that long. So I finished it. I've done all the body. It comes down about halfway down my body. I've done the sleeves and I'm now adding length to the body. And then it's just the collar. So I'm really getting good progress on it. Which is why I thought, well, actually, I can sit and chat to you, lovely folks, while I just do these, because all I'm doing now is just effectively adding length to the body, which is just straight grannies all the way. I saw a few at Unravel today, people who have already done it and are ready for EAYF. That's not me, sadly. I will get there. It will be done in time. It will be done in time. If I haven't finished Mark's jumper and I haven't done my Hexicardi, then what have I been doing, right? Oh, so Kerry said, spinners say the untwisted is a hank and the twisted is a skein. That could make sense. I don't know. I just call them skeins. Oh, Eileen is in Michigan. Terrible ice storms. Lost the power on Wednesday night until Saturday. Wow. Staying in a hotel. Okay, good you're safe. And that you brought your yarn with you. That's the most important things, right? And then Sandy said, I've ordered you a Disturbia yarn. Can I participate in the make along if I do a different pattern? So we're asking people to take part in the. You don't need to use the yarn, but we're asking you to use the patterns because we want to create as many of the knitting and crochet patterns as we can. So you're more than welcome to do either the knit or the crochet, or like me and do both. Again, when have I got time? EAYF is the week before we're now going to cast on. So I was thinking I could get a lot done at EAYF because I'm going for 2 days. But yeah, I might see. I might start the crochet one early. Will you guys tell on me? I don't know. We'll see. Um, Natalie, you've done your hexagon cardigan and you love it. That is awesome. It's such a great little pattern. Um, I said to Mark, I'm going to see if I can maybe make one for um, niece 3. Um, so she'll be 2 in December, and I think it would be quite a good little um, pattern to adapt because, of course, it's just a hexagon. Um, so I can try and make a child's version, maybe out of 4-ply yarn. I've got some West Yorkshire Spinners Bo Peep in fingering weight 4-ply yarn in my stash, and I think that would be quite a cool way to use up the project, and it's in a lovely little purple color. So I might make Thea a little hexagon cardigan. Have a go at making one of those and adapting the pattern at some point, and for her for Christmas, um, or for the winter. I like. There's no point making it now because by the time I've made it, we all know I'm not going to make it quickly. So by the time I've made it, it'll be the summer, and she won't get any weird out of it. So I'll have a go at doing that. I think for the winter, that'll be quite cool. Um, I love that you're all still going on the debate about Skeens and Hanks. Yeah. Um, I'm agreeing with all of your comments because they all make perfect sense. I just don't know who's right or wrong. Laura Devlin, are you going to the Knit Night on Friday? Yes, I am going to the Knit Night on Friday. I'm very excited. And thank you to all of you for the great comments on the spoiler, the great comments on the EAYF interview video that I did with Laura. It was so lovely that loads of you, some of you in the UK are now able to make it. And, that was the whole point, to be able to share the show with people with a month to go. So it's great that some of you are able to make it and are going to come. And for those of you that are around the world, it's a new show. So again, great to be able to introduce the show to you. If you're ever in the UK, it's one to think about and one to consider. And loads of you want to win the goodie bag that Laura has, and a load of you want to color the bag in. I immediately thought that when Laura put the bag up on screen, I thought, oh, that would look great painted. And then she said that her children have been doing that, so that is super cool. So yeah, so I'll do the draw for that whenever I said I was going to do it. I can't remember. I need to watch that bit back. One of you might know. So I'll do the draw for that. And I know, and if you haven't yet entered the draw from the January roundup to win the Lily and Maud sock yarn, you've got until the 1st of March to enter that. So last week now, if you've not entered that, go back and watch that January video and be in with a chance of winning that sock kit. And I said, it will be hilarious if it's come from Australia to me and then someone in Australia wins it and it goes back to Australia. But again, like, your support on that video is amazing. And I know Kerry from Lily and Maud appreciates the support because lots of people have now signed up for her newsletter and followed her on Instagram. So again, I'm just a guy that sits on the floor and chatting to his iPhone. And if I can share different businesses and dyers with all you lovely folks, then that's one real good way that I want to use my channel. So yeah, thank you for embracing Lily and Maud and for showing Kerry some love. That was great. But yeah, you've got last week if you want to be. I've split my yarn. Last week, if you want to be in with a chance of winning that sock set. Imagine Mark. in a hexi cardigan. Now, he actually said, I'd wear one of those. And then I said, shall I make you one? To which he kind of just looked skeptically and went, yes. Which I think is his passive aggressive way of saying when. Although I've been that obsessed with this one that this flew off the hook. It's gone so quickly. Um, I only had to slow progress because I ran out of yarn and I needed another cake of the light grey. And actually, my light grey on the sleeve, I've shown you this one. I can show you one sleeve already. The light grey on the sleeve, I got literally, I finished the second sleeve and I've got about this much left of a light grey. So I've been really trying to be specific with my color placement to make it more customizable to me, and less random granny. So I've really tried to think about where my color placement is. And you can see I've decreased the sleeves because I don't want the big puffy, I don't know what they're called, puffy sleeves. Like balloon sleeve is the actual pattern. I didn't want that on mine. I wanted it. It is going to be a little bit baggy here because that's the way the nature of the hexagon. But I've really tried to add some shaping into here, into the arm, to really bring it in tight around the cuff. So I've kind of adapted the pattern a little bit um, as I've been going. But I've been obsessed with it until the point that all work had to stop because I ran out of yarn. But I now have enough yarn, because I've got all of this grey and I've got two little offcuts of grey. So my plan is to try and finish the length in the grey, in the dark grey, and then all the ribbon and the collar will be in blue. And just so that I didn't run out, I asked Gemma, I bought another blue. So I asked her when she sent me the yarn, she basically sent me one of every color. I was like, I'll just order another 3, one of each. It was easier not to run out again, which is what I did. So I shouldn't run out, touch wood. Um, so yeah, I'm very excited by this. Um, oh, Laura. So Laura, who are you? Who are you? A yarn dyer? Do I know this? If we've had this conversation and I know this, I apologize. But you said you were hoping you've had to pull out as a vendor, but hoping to now come as a customer. Yeah, let me know. I didn't know that. Albanat Knitter. Do you know the wool cutching Carmarthen, Mark? No, I don't know it, but I was talking to Ellie from Tidderbrin Yarns today, and we're going to do a collaboration video series. I mentioned this, I think, at the beginning of the year. I'm going to do a sheep to skein series, and Ellie runs Tidderbrin is the her brand. Let me see if I can find a photo. Ellie has her own sheep, and so that's me and Ellie, and then that's Tidderbrin. Excuse the big close up of my face. That's the yarn business. Ellie lives on a farm, so she has her own small holding. She's got her own flock of sheep, and I'm going to do a mini series this year where we are going to do. We're going to go and meet the sheep. We're all going to go together, you and me. We're going to go meet the sheep, and then we're going to go back and we're going to see the sheep being shorn because that's how they shear sheep. And then we're going to go to the mill and watch the fleeces get prepared and spun. And then we're going to go back to Ellie's and we're going to dye the yarn, which I'm really, really excited about, because I love these behind the scenes kind of things. You know this. If you've watched my channel for a while, I love the intricacies and like how things work. So I'm really intrigued to see it from sheep. Literally, it's going to be on the sheep's back to how we shear it, get it to the mill, and how it's all spun. So it'll be a little mini series, 3 videos probably, starting around April, May time. They're lambing. around mid-March. So we're going to wait for the lambs to be born. Then we're going to go down and meet the lambs and see the sheep that will then get shorn and all the rest of it. So I'm really excited about that one. Um, how did we get into that? Oh, we got into that from Carmarthen. So Albanach, the sheep farmers in Cardigan, which isn't far from Carmarthen. So actually, if I'm down that way, then I might check out the Woolcutch. Um, yeah, I love going to knitting shops, as I'm sure you all do. Um, Yarn, the jumper saga and now the skeptic cardi. Honestly, I feel really guilty because I want to get this jumper finished because I've got so many other things I want to start. And I'm like, oh, I just can't. I'm itching to cast on other things, but I can't cast on other things while I haven't finished his jumper. But I was talking to someone about it today. In my head, like now, if you say to me, go and get his jumper and do it while we're talking, I'm like, "Oh, so silly. Have you seen the jumper? It's really complicated. And as soon as I get the jumper out and I've done the first row, I'm like, oh, why don't you just knit on this more often? It's really easy. And I never do. And I always big it up in my head that it's much more complicated than it is. It's because every color, I've said this in previous videos about it, every color has its own strand of yarn. So on each row, I've got about 12 strands of yarn because every time that color appears, you need a different color, a different strand of yarn. So it's just the mental, once you've done the first row, all the yarns are all nice and tidy, they're all lined up. It actually goes quite quickly. But it's kind of in my head, it's not one to do after work. So I'm not sure I'll get any done this week. And then we're away in London next weekend for my birthday. It's my birthday on Sunday. I'm very excited. We're going to see Wicked. Of course we are. So yeah, I might not get any done, which is why I know I won't make any progress on his jumper for February. And then, but as soon as I finish this, it will be done. Ian, yeah, I make it. He's had a lot. Like he's got like a wardrobe of like 3 or 4 jumpers. Don't feel that sorry for him. He actually gets hats, scarves, mittens, and he has got 3 jumpers that I've made him before. They're tank tops, and he does wear them quite a lot. But it's just not the jumper that you all see. But I also love the fact that you folks are so invested in this jumper now because I feel like it's our jumper. And when you finished it, or when I finished it, we're all going to have a collective cheer. Or you'll all be like, thank the Lord, he's never going to mention this jumper again. Because quite frankly, you're all probably as sick of hearing about this jumper as I am about knitting it. Oh, Kamar the Market. Okay, yeah, definitely. Thank you for that. Laura, Athishans. No, I'm glad. I thought I might have forgotten that conversation. No, but if you're coming as a customer, definitely come and say hi. Yeah, I'm going Friday. And then yarn show Saturday and Sunday, and then coming home. And then it's my non-work day Monday. Because it's a 6-hour drive for me. It's a long way to go, which is why I'm going to do the yarn show both days. Because I feel like I get to chat with Yarny friends and I get to sit down. Hopefully I'll, like Laura said, the arena where the show is in quite a big space, lots of food stalls, lots of food trucks. So I'm hoping that I'll just get to find some time, go and sit down, actually sit down and have some knitting time as well while I'm there. So I'm going to do that. Someone asked who the designer was for the cardigan, and someone else has answered the question. So thank you. Yeah, Kelly Phelps. And if you go and search on YouTube for Granny Hexagon cardigan, you will find there's a YouTube tutorial. It's like a 2.5-hour video. And it's invaluable because I've been the bit that I'm struggling because I'm not a regular crocheter. Is like now I'm just doing. Let me put my hook out. I've just realized the time and I haven't shown you any yarn yet. Now I'm just going back and forth straight. How to keep this edge straight. So in one row, you put 2 trebles or American doubles. And then on the other, you just put 1 in the top of the stitch below. And I have to keep catching myself. So I've been watching the video quite a lot and just watching how she finishes the rows and ends the rows because I want to. It's really neat. I'm really pleased because I would say I am a knitter who crochets. I make all the Toff toys. I love all my Toff toys, and I think I'm quite a good crocheter for those toys. But I'm not. This is the first proper like garment that I've made, so I'm really trying to make sure that it's as neat as it would be if it was a knitted item. So the video tutorial from Kelly is really invaluable if you're new to crochet, but you can crochet the whole garment. You don't need to buy the pattern. There's enough information, and Kelly admits this in the video. She gives you enough information in the description box that you can make the pattern. So yeah, so I'm really pleased. But I've done that's not bad. I've done one row. Look at that. That's quite a lot, isn't it? I've done that while we've been chatting. It's taken me 45 minutes, but I've done it. Yeah, Denise, thank you. I'm really looking forward to filming that mini series because I'm just nosy as well, I think, and I want to go behind the scenes and find out how that stuff happens. Particularly the um the fleece into the mill. That I'm really excited about. Um Ian, I think the stranded color work is intimidating, but only once you've I think I make it much worse in my head than it actually is. Um and I really do love color work. I tried to practice over the years doing two-handed color work and being able to do lots of fair isle patterns. I really love that style of knitting. It's just a lot. It'll get done. I promise it will get done. Um, yeah, and that's it. And mine is intarsia, so I'm having to swap colors all the time. But we'll definitely get there. And yeah, go on what? Yeah, someone. There's loads of. I think there's two videos where I talk about Mark's jumper specifically, and I don't do it with bobbins. It was a tip that I had from my local yarn shop. So all the colors are basically just long strands of yarn because I've got so many different colors. If they're all on bobbins, all the bobbins all were getting caught up together. So Jenny from my local yarn shop, Ammonite Yarns, suggested just leave them as long lengths. So when they all start to get tangled, the yarn, when it looks like the bird's nest, I just pull on a thread. And as you pull on the thread, it um, untangles. So when I get it out for the first time now, it'll be like a bird's nest. I'll untangle everything. So definitely go and watch one of those videos out in the one of my previous videos and I talk about that technique and how I manage my yarn. It's really exciting. A really interesting way of doing it. Um, right. Shall I show you some yarn? When Mark's jumper is finished, time for the party. Yeah, literally. I'm not going to let him take it off. Every time we go out, I'm like, get your jumper on. I'm just going back through the comments just in case I've missed any. Um, Someone's impressed I haven't given up on his jumper. It does bring me joy, honestly. As I said, it's one of those when I start knitting it, I'm like, oh, actually, this is a lot easier than. Excuse me. See, I'm laughing now. It's a lot easier than I remember. I just build it up in my head. It's like I can't do it. But yeah, it will be great. My next Toff project. I need to finish Amelia Earhart. I've started her clothes, so I have made some progress on her this month. But I want to finish her. And then the next doll, I was talking to Tash and Emma on the stall today. The next doll in the Making Women Who Made History series is due out. They think 2 or 3 weeks' time. So I need to get a wiggle on and get Amelia finished because I want to try and stay up to date. And for those of you that followed me on Instagram last year, I did a Toft doll along where I posted my progress about the doll that I was making and used the hashtag, I think it's hashtag Toft Doll Cal. And other people joined in and shared their progress. And Kerry sent me some patches that I could give away as prizes at the end of the kind of the unofficial official Toft doll cal. So my next Toft project is going to be the new doll, and I'm going to run my unofficial um, crochet along while we. You can make any doll from the Toft series. Kerry will pop along if we all get stuck. We can tag her in pictures, and her or one of the team will pop along and help us if we get a bit stuck. So just a great community way again of people getting people involved and supporting each other. So that will be my next Toff doll, but I've got 2 weeks or 3 weeks, I think, to finish Amelia. It'll all get done. You know me, I don't get stressed. I've got eight. What did I say last month? 8 or 9 works in progress. I've not started anything new. I'm itching to cast on a new shawl, and I've not started. I was going to do it last week, and then I decided to stop. Um, Angela, yeah, we could definitely take it, yeah, then from sheep to project, because I will have to have some wool, won't I? Then, if I've been part of that yarns journey, I'll have to buy some of Ellie's wool so that I can, yeah, work a project. I don't know what I'll make with that. Oh, Babs. So if you want to get the Amelia Earhart, so what Toff do is around International Women's Day in March, they will release all of the previous year's dolls. So Amelia was one of the subscription dolls, and you can't buy her at the moment. But around International Women's Day, they will re-release all of the dolls, so you can go and buy them. So if you wanted Amelia Earhart, I'm not on commission for Toffs. I should be. No, I'm joking. I'm not on commission for Toff, but I just know because that's when I bought my Amelia Earhart last year. Um, so let's do. I bought. Do you want to see some yarn? Of course you do. So this is my. I'm not buying yarn, except I'm at a yarn show for souvenir yarn. Was kind of what I'd said, but I bought this. So I bought this from the Wool Kitchen. I've got a light on here because it's very dark because it's 10 to midnight in the UK. So apologies for the flashing on the. I'll try and hold it there. So this is by the Wool Kitchen. Night, Linda. Thank you. Speak to you soon. So this is a gradient fade set, obviously, as you can see, and it's my colors: teal, which you've all seen in my Knit 365 yarn, teal through to grey, and the fade continues. So lots of teal, a little bit less teal, a little bit less. And Helen did these a few years ago, and they were telling me that they were previously dyed like this, but wound into cakes. So the dark color was in the center. They've now made these kits more accessible. So they've moved, given us the mini skeins, and there is a pattern on the back that you can just about make out. So I might consider making this pattern. It's a triangular shaped shawl, but it's designed for this because this is 520 grams, so they're going to be 100-gram skein. I've got lots of single skeins in my stash, which I showed off in one of my January videos. So I really like the idea of just being able to turn this into a really simple shawl. So I bought that, and I knew I was going to buy that because the Wool Kitchen had put that on their Instagram in the run up to Unravel, and I was like, oh, I need to buy that. That's going to be my yarn purchase. So I knew that I would need to buy that. So I bought that. Very excited. And then I bought so a new to me dyer, Third Vault yarns. And they just had the most glorious wall of hand dyed yarn. So I bought 2 of these, which I love. So greys, it is a superwash Falklands Merino, and the colorway is Biohig, I think, or Biohis, Biotix. So yeah, it's going to be predominantly grey. All the comments have stopped. Are you all here? Is anyone still there? Just double checking. The numbers are still going up, but all the comments stopped. Are you all intently watching what I'm buying or what I've bought? Um, Someone just messaged and just let me know that you're still there. Yeah, there we go. Thank you. You all, as I've been chatting all night, it's been popping up and down in the commentary, and then it just all stopped. It's like, am I chatting to myself? Yeah. So I bought two of these because I really like the idea of this yarn, and I bought a few skeins like this in the past from other yarn shows that you might have seen. And this, I think it's called zip yarn as a style, but it's predominantly grey in the skein. And then you've got these flashes of color. So you've got these purples, these blues, and reds. And my idea, and I did say to Mark, I might cast this on. Because I feel like I buy all this yarn from yarn shows and it just goes in my crates and I never really use it. So what I'm going to do, like with my Toff doll, the new doll's going to arrive, and I'm going to do her straight away. So I'm going to try and keep up to date with the new things. So I'm either going to cast this on or I'm going to cast this on, but then only one of them's going in my stash. That makes sense? That's a good logic, isn't it? One to use, one to keep, kind of thing. But I think I'm going to do a dotted rays with this because it grows. I've not made one yet, and it grows out in a fan. And this yarn will give me kind of color pooling as designed. So when I start the corner, I'll obviously have big sections of the color. And as the shawl is growing, the sections of color will get smaller and smaller. And by doing it as a two skein, it will really grow into a nice size shawl for me to wear. But by the time I get to the very end of the shawl, I'm just going to get little dots of the colors. And I think that's going to look really lovely. My colors, predominantly gray, but I think these little flashes of the rainbow, I think we're going to look lovely. So I think of the two, I'm probably going to cast that on. The neon knitter found dotted rays to be a slog. Yeah, see, I've not done a dotted rays, and I feel like that's a West knit staple. I've knit lots of West knit patterns, as you all know, but I've never done a dotted rays, and I feel like I probably need to correct that. But I don't want to start it and then not finish it. Of course I don't. But I think they're going to be a dotted rays. So I think that would be really cool. But let me know in the comments below. And of course, this video will be on playback, so people can watch this who aren't in the UK, for example, up at 5 to midnight talking about yarn. But let me know in the comments below if you think there's another pattern that would really show off the type of yarn with this assigned pooling, where the yarn will, the colors will come in certain places. But I bought that, and I think that's going to be really cute. And I did buy one more thing. Oh, the neon, it was totally worth it. Oh, that's okay. I don't mind it being a slog. And it's only a 2 skein project, right? So Stephen's usual yarns are like 5 skeins projects. Usual yarns? Usual shawls are like 5 skein projects. Oh, spoiler. And then I bought to learn Tunisian crochet. Now, Toft are doing a Tunisian crochet along, and the pattern's not really for me. It's a lady's headband, but I might do it anyway, and I can give it away to someone as a go of practicing Tunisian crochet. But I bought the joinery shawl from the pattern is by Sharon Carter, who is the owner of Dragon Hill Studios. Now, I've never done Tunisian crochet. And the reason I bought this one as well is because I've been thinking about this project for over a year. So this is a shawl, but it's very like it's a really long scarf. And it's got this lovely sort of graphic edge that runs up the outside. And it's all grey with this self-striping yarn that comes up the edge. And I saw this when I met Sharon at Wonderwool Wales last year when I helped my local yarn shop out, Ammonite Yarns. FYI, bit of admin, I'm going back to Ammonite Yarns and Wonderwool this year. So if you are around in April and want to go to Wonderwool, I am going to be there. It is the 22nd and 23rd of April. So I'm going to be at Wonderwool, but I saw this and Sharon had it on the stand. She gave me a little quick demonstration about Tunisian crochet, and I was like, "Oh, it's like knitting and crochet together." Blew my mind. Watched it, watched the tutorial. I thought, "I'm going to go back and get it," and I forgot. And I was in the car on the way home, and there was, like, sometimes you have that regret purchase because I wasn't going to buy any yarn. I did buy a skein of yarn. It's like a little souvenir, and then on the way home, I was like, "Oh, I wish I bought that." And then I'd forgotten who it was, and I didn't ever see it. So Sharon was there today with um, Dragon Hill Studios. So I bought, and what blows my mind with this is this. Imagine I'm 5 foot 7.5, 5 foot 8, and it kind of goes from my waist up, over, and back down. It's a really long shawl. That's it. And I was like, "Are you sure that's all?" And she's like, "It's my pattern. Yes, I know it. That's all." So I'm really like, my mind is a little bit blown about how this is going to be turning itself into such a big garment. But I've got just this lovely natural grey color, and this is the Brecken Sock 4-ply. So it is 70% merino, 20% yak, and 10% nylon. Um, and it does recommend a 2 to 3 mil needle if you're knitting with that. But because it's Tunisian crochet, I use a 6 mil hook, which is very exciting. And then this is the self stripe. And if you've ever been to a yarn show in the UK and have ever seen Dragon Hill Studios, their yarn, their self striping all come caked like this with ribbon. It's so pretty. Their whole stand just is like the perfect layout of all these little presents. So I bought the kit because I've been thinking about it for over a year. I saw it and I was like, oh, that's the kit that I need. So yeah, so I've got a hook and a cable, and off I go. So what I might do is, I think my plan, this will be a March cast on. I'm going to do the Toft Tunisian crochet along, because I've never done Tunisian crochet before. I know I could probably watch some videos, but I couldn't teach myself to crochet. I taught myself to knit, couldn't teach myself to crochet. It was too difficult. So I might do the crochet along with Kerry, because then I'll learn the basics and I'll be able to make the headband, which I can give away to someone because I don't need to put my hair up. And then once I've done that, I'll then start that straight away. And I did joke to Sharon. She said that she's got all the videos on her website for all the different techniques. But I said, well, maybe I'll start it before Wonderwall. And then if I get stuck, I'll turn up at Wonderwall and be like, can you fix this for me, please? So I might do that. So I might try and start that in March as well. It's fine. So I'm going to start a shawl. I'm going to start a dotted raise, and I'm going to start Tunisian crochet in March. That's my plan. Loads of you love Tunisian crochet. That's exciting. So we're going to get some Tunisian crochet content on my channel coming up. That's exciting. Alban, get as close as crochet gets to knitting. Yeah. And yeah, the fabric was amazing. And I liked the stitches. They were almost like little tiny squares, like graph paper. It was such a gorgeous shawl. And I said I kicked myself when I didn't buy it. And I'm so lucky that I saw it today. Bye, Elizabeth. I won't be much longer anyway. I've done my hour, and I do have to go. I've got to go to work tomorrow. But go and start work. Thank you for joining me. And then, yeah, you can watch back on the replay. Ian converts a lot of standard crochet garments to Tunisian. That blows my mind. I don't know how you do that. Maybe that's one for the future. A future collaboration. You can come and join me and tell us how to do that. That sounds exciting. Yeah, I need to watch a few Tunisian crochet videos. Babs is going to be at Wonderwall. Excellent. Bringing a bus full of Knit and Natter group. Yeah, that's all awesome. Right, we'll come and say hello again this year on the Ammonite stand. I'm very excited that they asked me about. I've not actually been. This is really bad. I've not been to Knit Club since the week after Wonderwall last year. They messaged me and they're like, "Are you doing Wonderwall with us again?" I said, "Yeah, if you want me to." Are you going to come to Knit Club soon? I was like, "Oh." Because just life gets in the way. And before I know it, like 3 months has passed, and then 6 months have passed, and now I know it's been a year since. nearly since I've been there last. So yeah, I'm going to try and get back to knit club. Um, yeah, I might knit my headband and I can put my fake hair up. Um, and yeah, I really love the woven fabric of it. Um, so I'm really looking forward to having a go at that. That's going to be really exciting. Um, Yarning for the Smile really wants to visit UK yarn shows in the UK. We have loads, and I'm sure you must have loads wherever you are. I know lots of countries do have yarn show. Oh, I mentioned earlier, this is all I've got left of the grey. That's proper yarn chicken. I was getting really stressed. And that was the extra ball that I ordered from Gemma because I didn't have enough to do the sleeves. So those two sleeves have pretty much taken, oh, one round. I think I did one round on the hexagon and then the two sleeves. Took a whole ball. The hexi cardigan is brilliant, but it's very yarn hungry. So I think in total, if I end up using all the yarn, I'll have used 9 skeins. I'm making the extra large size. I don't think I will use it all. I've got way too much blue left. Probably only 6 balls, maybe 6, maybe into the 7th. Natalie does the opposite to Ian then. So you think Tunisian is slow and you convert Tunisian into normal crochet, whereas Ian does it the other way. See, the lady on the stand was telling me that Tunisian is really quick because of the hook size. So she reckons I could have this finished by Wonderwall. She clearly doesn't know how easily distracted I get by other projects. The name of the pattern is the Joinery Shawl by Sharon Carter. And it's available on Ravelry. I found it earlier because I went to Sharon's website and found the tutorial videos so that I can start to watch those. So yeah, go and check it out. It's available on Ravelry, but I've got a printed copy that came with the kit. So that was really exciting. So they were my yarn purchases. 2 skeins, a shawl, a mini set, and a niddy noddy. So that's not too bad for someone that says they're not buying yarn. But I have put, like I said before, I have projects in mind for them. I'm not aimlessly buying yarn and just going, I don't know what this is going to become. So at least I have a plan, but I think I'm going to start the dotted rays. I really like the idea of that. Oh, see, if I do the dotted ray, I was going to say I could take that to London with me next weekend, couldn't I? That might be quite an easy out and about portable project, but a Toft creation is probably easier for London. Out and about knitting in coffee shops. One of my favorite things to do in London. There's a lovely little coffee shop. I want to say it's called Abuela. It's in Covent Garden, and it's got this massive communal dining table where like 20 people can sit around, and there's a little tiny snug in the corner. And I love just going in there, and because I go in there, not like we don't go to London that often, maybe every 3 or 4 months, but the lady in there remembers me because I guess you don't see many men knitting or crocheting. And every time I go in, she always makes a thing. Oh, how are you? What are you working on? So kind of, I love going to a coffee shop and doing some knitting. So I'm definitely going to do that next weekend on my my little birthday trip. No yarn shows in Florida. That is sad. Although you Americans have got Rhinebeck, so I feel like I know, and I appreciate, right? America's a big place. And if you live in Florida, it's probably not very easy to get to New York, but you've all got Rhinebeck. So I feel like you Americans, like you have the big yarn show. That's on my list. At some point, I would love to do Rhinebeck. Not this year, sadly not. We have talked about it, but it's not going to happen. Ian finds Tunisian halfway between knitting and crochet speedruns. I think that's probably where I'll end up because I think you can get into a bit of a rhythm, especially with the return pass, I think it's called, when you ticking them all off. The bit that I just need to think about is, and I know I'll get frustrated with, is knowing where to put the stitch or the hook to do an increase or a decrease, because I feel like I'm going to have to not relearn the crochet, but I need to work out the placement. So it's that kind of stuff. I'm probably going to have, which is why I think I'll do the Toft one to just get a bit familiar on a simple pattern because it's just a simple tube. And then I'll have a go. I probably won't start that. I'll grab some yarn from my stash because I have some. And then I'll have a practice attempt at the increase and the decrease. I think I'll probably try and do that. Um, Ian loves niddy noddy like Popty Ping. Popty Ping, for those of you that don't know, is microwave in Welsh. I don't speak Welsh. I think we've talked about this before, but I do know Popty Ping is Welsh for microwave. Although sometimes then people go, no, no, that's not true. I think it is true. Um, so yeah, souvenir stash. That's the one. Um, a few of you mentioned Tony Lipsy. Yeah, I will go and check them out. That's exciting that I get to hear about new people. And this is why I love doing these. This is only my second live, apart from the ones I did with Irina, which is where I then started because I loved the Irina ones that we did for the MCAL, for the West Knits Knit Along. I love being able to chat to people. And then that's why I wanted to start these because, like, it's so lovely now. We're just sitting here having a conversation. It's like you're all in the flat. Mark's in bed. If it wasn't midnight and I was working in the morning, I would have a glass of wine, but I probably shouldn't with my cough. That's my other excuse. I did think, oh, the late night one, great. I can get a rum or a wine. And I thought, no, I'm ill. I probably need to stick to fluids, hydrate. Next time we'll have wine. Although not if I do the next one at 7 a.m. in the morning. We won't have wine at 7, unless I stay up from the night before. That could be a whole nother video. Your grandparents are from Wrexham. Yeah, I literally could say hello, goodbye, please and thank you. And where's the toilet? That's all I remember from being in school. So yeah, this has been so much fun. Chatting along. Apologies for my cough again, as I said. Oh, I'm so much better. And I know a good night's sleep, I'm going to have another pint of water, another pint of squash, some cough medicine. And then, yeah, I need to be in work by 8 tomorrow. So it's currently 10 past midnight. Hopefully Mark is asleep. And yeah, it is pollen season because I get hay fever. I get tree pollen. So I've started taking my antihistamines already. Oh, honestly, if I cough or sneeze once more, Mark's probably going to throw me out. He's one of those, he's an only child and hates noise. So, like, if you sit on the sofa and you sniff, you'll just like pass you a passive aggressive tissue. Do you need a tissue? Yes. So he hates coughing. So you can imagine he is thrilled with the fact that I've coughed for about a fortnight. But I am so much better. So thank you very much. And thank you for bearing with me. I said, I do feel like this graveliness is because I've spent all day talking at Unravel. And it was such a great show and actually really good timing to then be able to sit down. I didn't do an Unravel video because I've done 3 Unravel videos, I think. And it's not the same. There's obviously lots of different vendors and things there, but I wanted to make sure that I try and do a different type of video. So no Unravel video. That's why we're going to focus on EAYF. East Anglia is going to be amazing. We'll talk about my 6-hour trip up. I'm already lining up my podcast, my true crime dramas for my trip up. The knit night on the Friday, looking around the yarn show on the Saturday and the Sunday, the podcasters meet up. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to doing a big EAYF video. So I guess, yeah, coming up next on the channel then. So this is now live Sunday into Monday. So this will be in lieu of my Monday video. I like to post on a Monday. That feels like a good day for you folks to watch in. So this will be my Monday video. I'm off for my birthday weekend. So I'm going to try and do my wrap-up video Friday before we go to London, which will then be up next Monday. So you'll have a video for me tonight, tomorrow, and then one next Monday. And then we might have a 1-week gap, and then it will be the EAYF video. And then, because it's March then, so we'll then be into the knit and crochet alongs Cal videos. So lots of videos coming up on the channel. I might try and do a random Sunday. I haven't done one for a while. That I sit down on a Sunday with a note of all the things I want to get up to. And we'll do a little behind the scenes, take you through my Sunday. I will try and do that at some point, but I'm not sure when I've got a Sunday. It's getting busy. Oh, we could do that weekend. Oh, the weekend, right. Maybe there'll be a bonus extra video on the 13th because maybe the 11th and the 12th, we don't have anything on. I might be able to do let's do a weekend, see how much knitting I can get done. Darning socks. I've got 2 socks to darn. Oh, Ian, I said I didn't do much darning. I actually have 2 socks I need to fix. I've got a shortened sleeves on my mum's jumper. I need to start a new project. So yeah, there might be another bonus video, but definitely there'll be my month-end wrap-up coming then. So you'll get that on the 6th of March, and then hopefully the EOIF video on the 20th, and then later that week, then we'll start the knit crochet alongs. So lots coming up. Thank you so much. Babs. So I think the knit and crochet along is going to be Friday the 24th of March, and then Sunday the 26th of March. We'll do 2 lives. I mentioned it at the very beginning of this video, which you can watch on the playback. I've pushed it back by 2 weeks. The international cyber attack thing that happened in the UK with the Royal Mail, lots of the overseas parcels have now started arriving. But just to make sure that everybody gets their yarn, if possible, before we start, I'm just going to push it back 2 weeks. So probably the 24th. So I think there might be 3 videos in March, maybe 4. We will see. But yeah, plenty coming up and lots of exciting projects. And I don't want to be that person, that cryptic, but I've had confirmation of an exciting project that I definitely can't talk to you about yet. But it's very exciting. As well as the sheep to skein and all the rest of the stuff that I have already talked to you about. Favorite true crime podcast. I love the serial podcasts. Like I've listened to them all, and then the spin-offs. So they've got a new one out that's just last week, I think. So I've got that one to listen to. And there's another true crime. I can't think what it's called. It's about terrorists. It's not very happy-go-lucky. Oh, Missing Crypto Queen is another good one I like, about someone who's defrauding the crypto world. That was very, very good. Maybe I'll do that in my month end. I'll get a list of the podcasts I'll be listening, and I'll stick them in the description box. So yeah, lots coming up. Thank you so much for all of your well wishes on my my poorliness. I said, if I could do one of those heel jumps, I honestly feel so much better. I just sound really gravelly, which I think is all the talking. This probably isn't helping. And yeah, thank you for the Toff Cow will be coming as well. Look, I'll do a proper, maybe we'll do a little calendar of events in my month end wrap up, and I can put all the dates out. Oh, that's exciting, Neon Knitter. Listen to the first season of Serial Podcast as an assignment in your English class. Yeah, I remember it was just like being revolutionary and like breaking the podcast genre, wasn't it? And I've just been obsessed with Sarah Koenig and the whole Serial team since then. So I'm keeping the new one to listen to on my way up to EOIF. So I've got 6 hours there and 6 hours back, and that's without traffic. Touch wood. So, right, yes, let's wrap this up here. Good night to all the people that are saying good night. Thank you. I'm blown away that a number of you UK people are awake and listening to me. Thank you very much for staying up with me crazy. Thank you so much for all the people around the rest of the world that are here. Good morning to all of you in Australia if you're still with me listening. Good evening in the I feel like it's Eurovision. Good evening. And yeah, I wanted to try and alternate the time zone so that we get more people that get to join and chat along with the comments. So it's been so lovely again to have this two-way dialogue. Thank you all for being here and listening. And if I've saved the settings properly, those of you on playback should be able, if you're watching on a computer, you should be able to see all the comments as they go in, so you can see what I've been seeing. So yeah, thank you. I really enjoyed the lives. Katie, no, this will be 43, I think, of Wicked. Yeah, I think it's 43. Let's end on that high note. Yeah, so thank you very much for joining. I'm going to try and save this down now, and then I'm going to get off to sleep. So I will speak to you all very soon. I'll be back next Monday with my wrap up. So I will leave you all go. Good evening, good night, good morning, wherever you are. Thank you for joining me. And until we speak again, happy crafting.